in sectors like tourism, in sectors like health. In tourism, if you go to mountain areas, the whole tourism industry is disrupted because of the climate impact and climate-related disasters. It's untimely events that we see in months which was not historically seen. If you go to Himachal, go to Uttarakhand, and talk to the tourism operators or the communities dealing in this sector, and can talk about the impact that they have. And also on health. And this topic is emerging. We have not focused a lot on this particular topic of health because of climate change impact, but topic is emerging. This topic is a global topic, climate change, but impacts we see at the local level. So action also requires at the local level. And India, in fact, did come out with a national action plan on climate change way back in 2008, almost 10 years back, with 8 missions focusing on different sectors for adaptation, mitigation, and also cross-cutting areas of strengthening knowledge base. Few more new missions are being added, for example, on health, which is being worked out by the Ministry of Health. And then, when it comes to implementation, implementation lies with the states. So another process was added 2010 onwards. For the next 2-3 years, states were engaged in developing what is called the State Action Plan on Climate Change, looking at what are the state-specific challenges related to climate change, what are their priorities, and how do we address the climate change impact vis-a-vis those priorities. Globally also, this topic has been discussed under the UNFCCC platform every year, but it was in 2015 in Paris, under the Paris Agreement, where adaptation figured very prominently as under the global goal on adaptation, that every country needs to work towards achieving this specific objective.
We are working for the rural people, especially the farmers, and what they want it, only they are the best people to say, and their involvement in the development process is key. And we always work with NGOs, and we are happy to be, we are happy to see the representative Dr. Hegde from BAIF, and they are one of our key partners in several development programs, especially the tribal development programs, where they have conceived a project on providing sustainable livelihood to the tribal habitations, and they tried and tested it in Maharashtra and Gujarat, and that we upscaled it now. Over 5 lakh tribal families are being benefited by that particular program. That apart, with GIZ and KFW support, we have implemented several watershed development programs running into more than 1,800 crores of grants that we have provided from our own resources. And that watershed development projects have contributed to resource conservation, especially water conservation and soil management, spreading more than 2 million hectares of area.
Livestock has a very important role in supporting agriculture because the chances of failure of livestock due to climate change is not very serious immediately. However, livestock is a double-edged sword. Today, livestock is one of the major contributors of greenhouse gases. In industry, if the automobile car is a polluter, in agriculture, animal cow is a polluter. If you want to say what is the impact of cow, probably each cow emits as much gas as much as 2 cars. Instead of 2 cars, you can have 1 cow. So I think the biggest problem is in this country, we have not understood the seriousness of negative contribution of livestock to global warming. The recent rules and there are so many gorakshaks, if they are sensitized and the farmers are sensitized. So the strategy BAIF has taken was to reduce the population, increase the milk production. Today, as you know, we have a lot of indigenous cows and the crossbred cows and buffaloes. The crossbred cows give 7 liters of milk. The Indian cows give almost 2 liters of milk. It's as good as having 3 cows of indigenous breed with 1 crossbred. However, there are a lot of unscientific controversies come in which are baseless. We need to really have good awareness to sensitize that use the crossbred in good way, efficiently, or cow for producing organic manure, producing milk, and contribute to the organic farming, but make sure that their population is controlled, they are managed well, so that they emit less methane, less nitrous oxide, so that we will be able to curb the carbon and methane gases which are emitted by livestock and make best use of it.
Kirtiman's rightly saying this is going to impact on people's lives. It's not just theoretical, it's something that hits everybody's daily life. It's going to hit the livelihood of a farmer, and I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about the rural livelihoods from Narayan. It's going to hit cities, because cities are going to be faced with unpredictable water resources. So what's happening in Chennai now? It's happened before. It's happened in Sao Paulo, 2013-14. It happened in Cape Town very recently. They were facing day zero on water in Cape Town. They did drastic limitations of water usage to adapt to that. It hit the poor and those living in informal settlements hardest as well. And now they have to think, how do we build back a system that's going to be fit for the purpose of the future? Because this is all happening with quite a small amount of climate change. If we don't manage the risks, it's going to be far worse. So those are the sorts of impacts that are going to happen to people in their daily lives. We're going to have more floods, more droughts, we're going to have crop failures, we're going to have maybe new diseases, crop diseases, or maybe human diseases will extend their scope or extend higher in elevation than they did before. We think about malaria in Africa, that's going to move into new areas, and I'm sure there are similar diseases that will move in other regions of the world too. There's also non-vector-borne diseases, just from the fact that warmer water will allow damaging microbes to breed. So think about cholera, think about things like this. These are all threats that we thought maybe we'd managed and they were going away. They're going to be coming back.